always send me great shit on Twitter. I love it.
Yeah, she's up in 5 categories. You know how Casey does.
Oh, I know.
So,
I saw her in the ASN magazine, and I was like, look at her go. I'm so happy for her, really.
Mm-hmm.
Mike and Sherry are great too. I know them pretty well because I used to be on their network with them for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if are they still doing the lifestyle culture thing?
Like their show and all that, or
yeah, I don't know. They were doing a different. I know they had their stuff on another network for a while, but I guess now they're back to doing it themselves, which is awesome. So that's good.
Yeah, I think they have a show on. They were on Full Swap.
No, I know that.
And, but they had something. They had their own podcast, and they were doing also.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And they have a new ASN hub.
Yeah, I saw that.
I find that on Twitter.
Yeah, I followed them on Twitter and Instagram too. So.
Yeah, they got big things, and this award should be pretty nice. So, hopefully the people will vote.
Well, I do vote for you, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
and I retweet your thing about for the awards, and I retweet Casey's too.
Yeah. So we're hoping for the best on that.
Look, she's doing fantastic. I saw her whole story she wrote in there, that erotic story.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
I read that story.
Yeah, that's in the latest one's in the book called John. There's a lot of stories in that, and then she wrote one before in a book called The Encounter, and got all kind of stuff out there. It's good stuff.
Wow. Yeah, I've been checking out her stuff here and there, so which is good. Oh my goodness, my back is so itchy. Oh. It's terrible. I know. I'm like I shouldn't scratch it because actually I have like a bit of a heat rash or something. So I guess it needs some cream on it. But the problem is I can't reach it, so I'm gonna have to get one of my family members to do it. probably my son, my older son. I would have to go bother him and say, hey, listen, you got to come either scratch mom's back or put some cream on it for her. When he was younger, listen, this is kind of funny. When he was like young kid, he wanted to earn money, but he didn't want to like leave the house. So talk about typical mother dominating her son type scenario, right? Where I said, you want to make money? He goes, yeah. I said, I pay you $2 a day to rub my feet for a half hour. And guess what he did? He did it, and he made like, I let him have like $50. I made him do it for like a while. And you know what he always says to me, he goes, well, Mom, he goes, I guess it's kind of funny. I guess I was kind of like your slave when I was a kid. But he laughs about it, Because he goes, it made me realize that women are the shit. Like, that's what he said. He goes, I should find myself a dominant girlfriend. I guess he likes to be ordered around. I guess my son is trying to tell me he's a little bit submissive.
Or you already prepped him and set him up for his new life.
Exactly. It was just kind of funny, if you think about it. I mean, look, he's going to be 28 next month. So, I mean, he's an adult. I mean, when he was a young kid, he knew I was the dominatrix, and he used to think it was kind of funny, but he liked the kind of money that I made, and he always had everything he wanted, He was like kind of spoiled, I guess you could say, So he didn't care about that type of stuff, But it's funny because, yeah, I've conditioned him to take care of women. Which is almost like a subservience position to some degree. Oh, goodness. Well, anyway, I will let you go. I want to thank you for calling into the show tonight.
All right. Okay.
And take care of yourself, good. Sir Lorenzo, and give Casey my love.
All right.
Take care. You're welcome. Bye-bye. Well, that was pretty cool. Sir Lorenzo called into the show for me. And, yeah, he's a good friend of mine with his, I think it's his wife. I'm 100%, or maybe it's his girlfriend. I don't know, but they've been together for like 8 years, and I guess they're like married. And when I went to Exotica last time, I met her there. We were kind of tweeting back and forth on Twitter for a while, so I got to meet her in person, which was cool. And Sir Lorenzo was with her. And Sir Lorenzo and Casey know my good friend Rita Daniels. So, Rita, if you're listening, I love you very much. Thank you. You've been such a big help to me, honestly. So we meet all these different people at different shows and stuff. And I honestly, you know what? Sir Lorenzo, I give him a lot of respect. He's been a male dom for like over 45 years or something like that, or 40. I'm not 100% sure, Lorenzo, so please don't quote me on it. And don't hate me for it if I'm wrong. So it's kind of cool to some degree, like having someone like me who's kind of believes in old school BDSM, as opposed to, the people arising from the 50 Shades of Grey era. So, it's like different types of stuff. So anyway, again, there's different types of fetishes, like a foot fetish we discussed in one of the prior shows. It's either a male or female that loves looking at other people's feet. They want to smell feet. They want to lick feet. They want to suck your toes. They want to massage your feet. They want to even jerk off on your feet. Okay, I've heard it all. I've seen it all. Actually, I have a confession to make. Mistress, about 8 years ago, went into one of those adult theaters with someone, right? A bunch of submissives. Well, I'll just leave it at that. And I was trying to do some humiliation in there. And one of the other people, like, that was in the theater came up to me and saw me in my PVC dress and boots. And, Mistress looks all shiny and very dominant when I wear that type of stuff. And basically, this fella approached me and he goes, "Oh, you're going to think I'm bizarre." He goes, "But can I, like, jerk off while you stand there?" He goes, "And I come all over your boots?" So I looked at him and I said, "I don't mind if you do that, but you're fucking licking up every fucking drop of it off my fucking boots after you're done. You think you're going to jack off on my fucking shoes and leave it there?" Oh, no. So he said, okay, and actually he did. I was really fucking surprised. So this was a fella who was so fixated on me while he was watching porn at an adult theater and approached me to jerk off on my shoes. So how would a vanilla woman react to that? She'd probably fucking lose her mind and have a fucking coronary in the goddamn place and not even fucking, like, and pass out or something, you know what I mean? So I think it takes a special type of person to be involved with different fetishes and kinks, and sexual type behavior. Because think about it, vanilla girls or vanilla men and women have different outlooks when it comes to sexual pleasure. Like, for instance, most of my vanilla friends that are married, the women complain to me that their husbands only fuck them missionary style, right? So they have no ways. It's basically like they feel like the husband's just fucking them so the husband gets off, right? What fun is that to a woman? Like, all right, we like to have sex, but we don't like to be, like, cum dumped in just for your pleasure, right? So women will be taking initiative to spicing up the relationship more, like housewives, vanilla housewives, by tying up their husbands and teasing them with feathers and trying to give them, like, sensual blowjobs while they're blindfolded. He might try to, stick a little toy up her ass to kind of get her all excited, but she really doesn't like it, but kind of deals with it. Then he blindfolds her and gags her and then kind of fucks her to oblivion. And then, but only missionary style with a little tying in between. I guess that could be considered as beyond 50 Shades of Grey. I mean, but I don't know. Does it? Does it really? I don't know. It depends on how you look at it. But vanilla women if they were to see the things or do the things that I have done in my life as a mistress or dominatrix, they would have a heart attack and drop dead on the floor. Like I think it takes a special type of person to really get into the mindset of a deviant with a bunch of sexual fetishes and kinks, right? And what I mean by a deviant is somebody who, all right, let me use this in a good context. They do things and they don't give a fuck about the consequences, right? So, for instance, you could be out at a porn store, right? And you go into the porn store thinking that you're going to go buy some magazines and maybe some lube and go home. And instead, you meander your way to the back where they have like the adult theaters and you pay the measly $10 to get in. So you're in there with a whole bunch of guys in a room, like in a circle jerk, basically, watching some fucking porn on the screen of this, like, you know, concrete wall of an adult theater, right? So when you do stuff like that, you either go in there and meet people that you know in real life in there, and the two of you can't believe that you're in there, and it just made me laugh my ass off. So you're in the adult theater. A deviant goes into the adult theater. They go into the adult theater, and while they're in there, they meet people that they know from their vanilla lives, and these two don't really know until that present moment that they're both involved in a circle jerk, right? And you're like, oh God, he's in here? Like, think about it. You're in an adult theater, and all that's in the adult theater in the back is guys jerking off to porn on the walls. So you're paying $10 to go in there and do that. And you could be doing a woman, or staying home with your girlfriend or whatever. Or guys in particular going into this booth because they're deviants, because they don't care about what happens after the fact. And this is how I'm trying to explain deviance, right? Sexual deviant is somebody that acts on impulse and doesn't care about the end result. That's a deviant. There's another term, it's not a deviant, they're like less deviant, but they do it, and then while they're doing it, they're like, oh fuck, I can't do this anymore, and they completely stop. But then they think about it later and jerk off to it. So is it really the same type of deviant type fetish? Or is a deviant is a behavior? It's not a fetish. It's a total different. It's a behavior. See, it's kind of interesting. Again, of course these things vary from person to person, but kink is something that turns you on. So you're going into the adult theater and jerking off, it turns you on. You're going home and you're thinking about a fetish, but you're not quite doing it, and then you're like, oh fuck, I can't do it, but yet I like to do it because it like feels good. That is a fetish, okay? So there's like different things. Like, it's kind of interesting how I'm delving in this whole deep, dark rabbit hole of the definitions between kinks and fetishes, because a lot of you people don't really understand, and you ask me like, I'm a kinky cross-dresser. So, okay, are you a kinky cross-dresser, or are you a cross-dresser that's into kink? Do you cross-dress for fetish, or do you cross-dress because you think you're transgendered? So there's different degrees of one's and how they identify between their kink and fetish. So, an interesting topic for tonight. So this is why I wanted to discuss the differences between this, because a lot of people ask me, like, for instance, oh, I'm into, all right, let me think of one for a minute. I'm into electroplay, and I think I really like it because when it's done to me, I feel aroused and I feel like I'm going to ejaculate. So that is a fetish, right? Because you need that to feel like you have to come during some sort of sexual fetishism. And it's kind of interesting. Last week's show, I talked a little bit about sexual fetishism. So if you don't know what I'm talking about in this show, make sure you listen to last week's 2-part show, because sexual fetishism was one of the topics of last week's show. So, kind of interesting, right? Think about that. People always tell me that they learn from my show. Why? Because I think I'm very well versed and educated. I've been a dominatrix for 32 years. So I know a lot about